Hi, y'all. I just wanted to send out a video about the discussion board on CBT. While the majority of you did really well on last week's discussion board, I know that there were several of you that were struggling with some of the concepts of the ABC framework and cognitive distortion. So I just thought I'd do a little extra quick teaching just to clarify some of those things for you. First, I think it's important to note that cognitive distortions, while they can be described and we can identify clients' thoughts and feelings as distorted, it's also good, as the chapter in Corey does, to label what are the cognitive distortions. So you can use this in your notes, your case notes when you're writing about clients, and it's also good to utilize in your discussion boards and papers. So the book lists several examples like generalization, magnification, minification, personalization, those type of things. So that is a way to label the specific types of distortions. So that's really what we're looking for, is reflecting what did you learn from your readings, and are you applying that within the discussion board. Discussion boards are meant not to be a big paper, but meant to be a very concise way to explain that you understand the reading concepts. On some of them, you're going to use outside sources, and to stimulate discussion with your peers. So that's what we're looking for with cognitive distortions, being able to describe David's situation and what thoughts may be contributing to his distress, but also giving it those labels of the different types of distortions. Also, the ABC framework. So that's something that I think most of you got, but some of your answers were a little bit vague. So A is the activating event. Now, while you can have activating events from the past trigger certain things, with the ABC framework, you're usually looking at what in the current was the event that triggered the distress. So, for example, if somebody goes to the grocery store and the person checking out screamed at them how they are buying such unhealthy food for their family, that person then may have gotten in the car and felt a lot of anxiety and maybe some depressed thinking, and maybe thought that that everybody thinks I'm a bad parent. And then after that went home and just kind of refused to help the kids with the homework because they assumed that they were a bad parent. Well, the activating event would be the person being yelled at the grocery store. The belief from that was that everyone thinks I'm a bad parent. The cognitive distortion would be, well, that's an example of generalization. Just because that one person said that doesn't mean that everyone thinks that about you. And then the C, the consequence, would be then the distress elevated, and as a result, that person did not parent their kid or help them with their homework that evening. So REBT would take it to DEF, to disputing the thoughts and replacing them with something healthier. And cognitive restructuring would do the same under CBT, which would be taking that distortion that everyone thinks I'm a bad parent and evaluating, is this truthful, or is there another healthy thought that we could exchange that with? So that's an example of ABC framework and how to do the cognitive restructuring, or the REBT, and what a cognitive distortion is. So I hope that clarifies it, but I'm happy to meet with any of you, talk with any of you about this further if you'd like. I really want to say, do not panic about the grade on the discussion board if yours was lower. You have plenty of time and plenty of assignments to bring that grade up. It just helps for me to give some accurate assessment of where you're at in understanding the textbook material. And I know it's frustrating because maybe you feel like, well, I also need it taught by the professor before I understand it. And that's why I wanted to give this teaching and go back over it. So anyway, hopefully that helps. And I'll also be sending out by the end of the week information on your midterm next week. So again, I don't want you panicking about that. Just do your readings and you should be fine. So please, again, I'm here. If any of you need anything, let me know.